NoSo Network. Welcome to the Royal Rumble Countdown here on the NoSo YouTube channel. Steve Riddle, what is going on here? You are here to go over the honorable mentions with me.
Yes, indeed, I am here, and we are indeed ready to rumble. And not like David Arquette in that movie, but rather, like you said, the Royal Rumble.
Yes, so we are taking 10 wrestlers' resumes and we are breaking them down by half kayfabe, half personal opinion, and then kind of having an equation on where we think they stack up for overall Royal Rumble resumes. It's going to be a unique kind of take on how we did it, but we really wanted to rely on the kayfabe aspect of the stats. But we also wanted to give our personal opinions on what kind of is fugazi, what were really substantial, and what really worked on these guys' runs within the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, there's been a lot of great performances by a lot of different people over the years. So I think when you break it down by the numbers, it is going to be quite interesting to see who does make it into the top 10.
Speaking of the top 10, there was a very hard to make this list, and the cut is very paper thin. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go over 5 people that we just didn't make the cut on the Royal Rumble resume. All right, Steve. So in no order here, let's just kind of go over some of the people I thought were honorable mentions. The first being here, your 2023 Women's Royal Rumble winner, Rhea Ripley. Steve, let's take a quick look at Rhea Ripley's Royal Rumble stat resume, and we'll kind of see why she was left just off. All right, so Rhea Ripley won one Royal Rumble. She eliminated 20 competitors. She was in a total of 4 Royal Rumbles, lasting 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 8 seconds combined. She made Final Fours in 2021 and 2023. Her peak year was last year where she won it, and I think her weakest year is 2022, not really because it was necessarily a weak year, but overall because she didn't really have much substance compared to the other years. So that's kind of the numbers on Rhea Ripley. But when I think of Rhea Ripley in the Royal Rumble, I think of that excellent performance last year, going an hour in 1 minute, outlasting all competitors, coming at number 1 and lasting the full hour and winning a goddamn thing while being super aggressive, super competitive within the Royal Rumble and very active. I thought she was a rock star last year, and she is definitely an honorable mention, a valued one amongst all the men here on this list.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we figured we wanted to at least get one woman on, to think about. And when it comes to
Yeah.
the Women's Rumble, it feels like it's right now kind of between her and Bianca as to who
Yeah.
probably have
Those were the two.
the better one. But I definitely think Rhea definitely kind of edges her out just based on her 2023 performance. Fun fact: I remember I was in attendance in the 2019 Rumble, which was her first one,
Yep.
and yeah, and I do have a little quick anecdote I want to mention here. So that weekend we had they had the Royal Rumble access for the fans, and I remember I went to every day, and and she was at one of the autograph tables. I don't remember who was with her, but what was funny about it was like the other two are there. They're like, sitting down prim and proper, meeting with the fans. Meanwhile, she's just like kicked back in the chair, feet on the table with like not a care in the world. And it's just, it was so awesome. Like you can see because I mean, you look at her in 2019 versus where she is now, it's like night and day how she's evolved. And you just knew there was something special with her. And like you said, 2023 starting number 1. And don't forget, she got attacked earlier in the night by Beth Phoenix.
Yep.
So, she was already kind of behind the 8 ball. And, just like you said, went in there, was very active throughout the whole match, along with who was number 2, of course, Liv Morgan, who went step for step with her. And then, of course, she parlayed it into that epic encounter with Charlotte at WrestleMania where she became champion, and she's been on the dominant run that she is now. So definitely a very good honorable mention for the Eradicator. Well, we have our next entrant here in our honorable mentions is somebody that I would probably argue is the greatest performer to have never won a Royal Rumble, and that is, of course, one Mr. Glenn Jacobs. Of course, as we know, will forever be remembered as, of course, the Big Red Machine Kane. Just to kind of go over some of his stats here, he has been in a total of 20 Royal Rumbles, which is the record. Of course, 18 of them as Kane. He has one as one Isaac Yankem DDS, and then one as, of course, the fake Diesel. As I said, has never won a Rumble. He also holds the record for most eliminations with 46. His total run time was 3 hours, 37 minutes, and 31 seconds. He has been a part of 6 Final Fours, being 97, 2000, 01, 03, 08, and 15. No shock, his greatest performance, of course, was in 2001, where he lasted 56 minutes, eliminated 11 superstars, setting the record, which lasted for 13 years. And his worst performance, I think a lot of people would say, of course, 2015, where he and the
Yeah.
Big Show gave the collective finger to the Philadelphia fans by eliminating all of their favorites, leaving it down to the three of them, and the guy nobody wanted to see win at that time, of course, Roman Reigns. I definitely think, as I said, Kane is definitely one of those guys. When you think of the Rumble, he's one of the first guys that comes to mind, just for the dominance that he has shown throughout all those different Rumbles. Of course, like I said, 2001, his Hall of Fame performance right there,
Yeah.
coming in at
The
number
reason
six.
why he's on this list. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if I was making a list, I probably would have him in my top 10. I think the one thing that kind of maybe keeps him out of it is the fact that he never won a Rumble, given especially how many he's been in.
but there's after skimming through it all and looking at it, it's a lot of emptiness. He has the kayfabe stats. He has the great resume with 2021, but that 15 is such a negative, and there's a lot of emptiness in it. There's some times where he comes in, doesn't eliminate anyone, has the big pop, the big pyro, and it's just substance.
Yeah, and you figure 20 rumbles and he's only in his total runtime's 3.5 hours, which doesn't
Yeah,
seem like that, which he should seems like it should be longer, um but again, you can't, for what he has been able to do in the rumble, you can't discount that he does at least belong as an honorable mention.
for sure. All right, and the next one we have here is Big Dave Batista. He has won 2 Royal Rumble. He has 17 eliminations. He was in a total of 5 in a total runtime of 1 hour, 18 minutes, 33 seconds. In all 5 Rumble appearances, he has 5 Final Fours, 2003, 2005, 2008, 10, and 14. His peak year was his first win in 2015, and his worst year is his last win in 2014. So I don't know, Steve. It's kind of interesting. It's loaded, very loaded. Him making the Final Four in 2003 is absolutely crazy. Kane, Taker, Brock, and Batista, who is a puppy at the fucking time. But he has the big moment with John Cena at the end, but he is pretty dominant in that match. It's probably his overall best performance. He's '08, he's pretty good. He's a kind of a low-key Iron Man. I'm not sure if he's the actual Iron Man, but he comes in early and lasts to the Final Four. 2010, he comes in late, lasts late. It's kind of empty. And then in 14, getting kind of stuffed down your throat. Daniel Bryan not being the guy. Boo Batista really happens there. And it's really his worst year. My thing with Batista is I feel he is presented super strong. The resume is pretty strong from a kayfabe aspect. He is a strong performer, but it's kind of doesn't hit as hard from a kind of wow factor. You know what I mean? He has a really good performance. He's booked really well, but I don't know. It just 14 really hurts.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the law of averages. I mean, 5 rumbles, 2 of them he won. I mean, that's a good spot
That's
for
great.
good edge for him. Yeah, like you said, him in '03. Him, Taker, Batista, Lesnar, and Kane. I mean, that's the Biggie special right there. Just
Yeah.
4 big men slapping meat. And it's such a dichotomy between his 2 wins. I mean, in '05, he was getting like so over,
Yep.
that everyone was waiting for him to bust out of Evolution and take out Triple H, which he ended up doing. And it's crazy because both he and Cena were on that same trajectory. They just ended up going with Batista winning the Rumble, and then they had Cena get his title shot, a different way. And then you compare that to 2014 when nobody wanted him to win that Rumble. Everyone wanted to see Daniel Bryan come out. I mean, the fact
Yep.
that Rey Mysterio got booed at number
Precipitously.
30,
Brutal.
right? And it's you felt so bad for Rey, but it's like everyone just wanted that to be Bryan's moment. And at the one hand, you do kind of like when they announced Batista coming back, you knew he was going to win that Rumble, and everyone was just praying for the audible. They didn't get it, but I mean, see the road that they would end up taking to get to 30. And then, like you said, yeah, '08, he's not as active in that one,
It's
but
a
he does
decent
kind
run,
of,
but it's low key a Jericho run where he's around, but he ain't doing much.
right. But I mean, I mean, you talk about a great final 3 there with him, Triple H, and Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole Rumble was pretty much, all about Cena returning at number 30, and then kind of similar to 2010, he comes out at number 30, but it's completely overshadowed by Edge's return. So, again, kind of a low key good Rumble performer.
For
He's
sure.
got the
It's
2 wins. to back him up, but yeah, just again, not too much substance.
I feel like it was a double. It's not a triple. That's how I looked at it. Everything's a double. It's cracked off the bat. It might be a home run. It's just a double off the wall. It's solid.
All right, and so our next honorable mention, another kind of low-key Rumble performer that you don't maybe think about it much, and that's, of course, the dead man himself, The Undertaker. Looking at his stats here, he's been in 11 Rumbles, which is kind of crazy to think that he's been in that much. He does have one win. He has a total of 40 eliminations. His total time, 2 hours, 31 minutes, 51 seconds. He's only been in 3 Final Fours, surprisingly enough, 97, 03, and 07. Of course, 07 was his one win. That's, of course, probably his greatest performance ever. When he comes out number 30, he has that great heads up with HBK for like the last 15 minutes before he ends up winning. He was, of course, the first guy to come out at number 30 and win the whole thing. Doesn't really have a really weak performance.
Really?
No, but he has a lot of really good moments in Rumbles. I mean, you think about 93 with him and, Giant Gonzalez. Obviously, I mentioned 07, him and Sean. And of course, he and Sean are the last two in 07, and then the first two in 08. So nice little continuity.
It's a great
there.
run.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a great run. And then you have the Maven spot in 2002, which is fantastic. That's his most memorable spot.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the high point of Maven's career, getting to eliminate The Undertaker. And then, of course, even in 2017, having a little showdown with Goldberg there before getting eliminated by Roman to kind of set their little feud going into WrestleMania. So, again, kind of a low-key guy you don't really think about a lot for the Rumble.
Yeah.
Again, he's got the one win to his credit, had a lot of great moments. But I think at the end of the day, when you think of Taker, you always think of the streak. So
yeah, perhaps when we do our next resume, he'll be much higher than this. But a very warranted resume here for the Undertaker in the Royal Rumble. The thing that kept him off for me is Sean outshining him in that 07-08 run. That's where I thought Sean was the better performer, but Taker obviously went over. So overall, very good run for Undertaker. All right, and the last one we have here, it could be a controversial one. That is the big dog, Roman Reigns. He has one win. He has 32 eliminations. He has 6 Royal Rumble appearances. For 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 9 seconds. He is in 6 Final Fours, just like Batista. Every Royal Rumble he's in. That's 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 20. His peak year is his first year, 2014. He's absolutely booked like a savage, and he performs like a savage. I thought he was awesome. And his worst year is the year he won, 2015. Perhaps not his fault, but it's his fault. I thought he was, in 16, I thought he was low-key bad. He's the champ. He puts the belt on the line, and then he's taken out. He's laying around. He's booked like shit. 14, he's booked like an absolute stud on the rise. 15, 16, booked terribly. But I will say 17, 18, and 20, booked awesome. He's booked as the heel. He's booked as the guy presented to win. He's booked for the Shinsuke chases him for the win. Drew chases him for the win. Randy eliminates him last. So he's presented as the big dog, the guy to get through to win the Royal Rumble, and he's stellar in that role. But my problem with Roman is it's kind of like Roman as a whole. The Shield, the rise is great. He's presented great in the Shield in the Royal Rumble. Then the big dog, it's just a rejection in 15. It's a rejection in 16. In 17, it's go away heat. 18, it's go away heat. 20, we're sick of him. and he's back with the fucking, post cancer or whatever. And we reject him. We're sick of him. We're just over this whole big dog thing, right? So he plays the role well, but he never connects. Perhaps if he was in a Royal Rumble as the tribal chief, the man, the guy, the head of the table, the man right now, he may be presented so strongly that we couldn't resist him off the list. But despite all the numbers, I just felt that the booking and the performance wasn't enough to sneak him on the list, and he got bumped right off right at the very end. But overall, very good resume, good performances, did his job, just overpushed. for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 2014, he looks like a monster. He breaks Kane's
Great
record in
run.
that one, 12 eliminations, to the point that the fans, by the time it's down to him and Batista, the fans are behind Roman. Like
Absolutely.
they want Roman to win that thing. It's like, okay, well, if
More
we
of a
don't,
Batista
if we
thing,
can't,
though.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, we can't have Brian. You know, we'd rather have the new guy win, that sort of thing.
Anyone but the guy you want to give us at that time.
Exactly, which then takes you to 2015, which is
Same thing.
he's the guy nobody wants to win, and you knew as soon as they eliminated Brian, right before he came out, he was toast. He
Mhm.
was dead man walking. Yeah, 2016, like you said, he comes in at number one. He's the champion. He has a good little segment there with AJ right at the beginning because AJ makes his debut that night.
Mhm.
But then, like you said, the League of Nations? I think it is takes him out.
Vince comes out, books him.
Vince, yeah,
Rusev takes him out. League of Nations.
yeah, and it's
Ugh.
like he doesn't even do the stretcher job. He walks to the back on his own power. It's like and then he's gone for like the rest of it. And then he comes back at the end, and then it's like the fact that Triple H has to come out number 30 and ends up eliminating him to win the belts. It's yeah, and then like you said, 17, 18. He's good in those rumbles. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
17
presented
gets
great and he does his job.
yeah, he's eliminated by you kind of start seeing, like you said, 17, 18, and 20, where he's starting to kind of be presented as that final boss that we know him basically as now
What you become now,
as the
yes.
tribal chief. So yeah, it's like he definitely makes up for it with those his most recent appearances. But yeah, just like between 15 and 16, it's just he is just like persona non grata by that point. So yeah, I mean, great stats. He does have a win. You can't deny again his 14 run, but yeah, just if it wasn't for the
He holds
15,
the records with the most eliminations.
yeah, I mean,
Aside until Brock broke it in 2020.
yeah. Honestly, if his 16 run was a little bit better, like if he was in there more, if he was more active, if he was a part of the whole match, maybe that's enough to sneak him into the top 10. If
Yeah,
that's overcomes the 15 stuff, but there's
not
plenty
enough
of
when you
good
look
for
at it.
him. Yeah,
When you
plenty of
when you
good.
put your nose in it, all these honorable mentions, there's just not enough to make it. You can make a case for it. I would love to hear a case for all these guys to get in based off the guys that we put in, but this is a hard list and it's a hard countdown to do. And Steve, I'm really looking forward to hear everyone's feedback. And as we kind of jump into it, as we bring it to you here every day on the YouTube channel, we're going to drop one leading into the Royal Rumble at 3 p.m. So, Steve, as we get out of here, one thing you would like to plug on your way out.
Check out all the pods I do across all the quad pods. It's a lot of great fun. I do want to give you the nod. Of course, you and JT are doing the every WrestleMania match ranked in the shorts. So it's really good. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, we're trucking our way through. We are way ahead of where we are presenting it. So we're ahead of it. It's the editing is a little taunting. But Steve, that's it for now, pal. Thank you for jumping on and doing the honorable mentions with me. It was kind of good to spread our opinions across the board here.
Of course, anytime.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow with number 10.